racing, then you'll love the new betting brand for racing fans. With exclusive markets, promotions, insights and content. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
This is Punters Inside Run, and we are talking a massive day's racing at Sandown. We've got 7 group races. We've got the Group 1 CF4 Stakes. We've got plenty happening, including the 2 Blue Diamond Preludes. James Lamb from punters.com joins us. Great to see you, Lammy.
Good to be here, matey. It's good to have Group 1 racing back in Melbourne.
It is fascinating, isn't it? It's a great day's racing. And often we see with the Preludes, we've seen the previews, things change around on Prelude Day before we get to the Blue Diamond.
Yeah, it's tough too with a lot of horses coming from WA, Queensland, even SA, like they're coming from everywhere, so you've got to line up a lot of different form lines and a lot of different trials and jump outs as well with a lot of horses first up. Before
we start on the Group 1, level of confidence for the day.
I'm going to be conservative and give it...
Oh, that's not what I wanted to hear.
What's he doing?
What?
8.
That's
revisited it.
6, 8. Like, yeah, we got him. Yeah.
Let's talk about the CF4 Stakes. Fascinating race, good race. What did you make of Jacquinot's first up run?
Loved it. Small margin, obviously, but I don't think many horses would have won from where he was 100 out, especially first up over that trip. I was pretty worried about him at the top of the straight, but the way he sort of ducked and dived and was held up at various stages and then really savaged the line. I think he's in a very good position for 1400 second up.
Yeah, suited the way for age, Carl.
Absolutely. It's a great race for 3-year-olds. The Orr and the Futurity, traditionally, you go back and have a look at different 3-year-olds that have run in the race, run really well, if not win the race. So they're suited at this time of year. I'm with Lammy. I thought that first up run, the first watch, you thought, oh, okay, he got there. And then you watch it again, he really picked up, and then that inside run just sort of half closed on him. And I think that's what stopped the momentum, more so than the horse was only a short head better than them.
Very nice past the post too.
He was, yeah.
I'm thunderstruck, I love him. He's an absolute beauty. Can win at 1400 as we know, but is it on Thunderstruck's race?
I don't think so. Not from that draw. I think he's going to be a fair way back and be left with too much to do. Like we often see at 1400, he does rocket home late, but he's only won 1 from 7 over 1400. Yeah. Always runs well, but is often left with a little bit too much to do.
If you want to track for a back marker to build revs, this is it. Yeah. Isn't it a hillside, and I think some people are, 1400, not his go. It's not at Caulfield.
No, it's not at Caulfield.
It is at Sandown. He's going to have that chance to really wind up and get into the race. But as you say, if a horse like Jacquinot, who's carrying less weight, is sitting in the first half of the field and accelerates.
Jacquinot's drawn so well, he should posse up around midfield.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Tuvalu's brilliant fresh and is a Group 1 winner.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about barrier 1. I think Blinker's first time, if it doesn't lead and ends up behind Gentleman Roy, maybe wants to overdo it first up. Yep. I've got it for 4th, and it's it's ultra consistent horse, puts its heart, goes full on every time it starts. But yeah, I've just got Gentleman Roy as the main danger. I think he leads. Loved his first up run at Sandown. He's tough as old boots. He'd go to war with Roy.
And we know Roy's going to go to the front. They've got a 2-pronged attack, the Hayes brothers. Have we forgotten Mr. Brightside?
Maybe. Is he a genuine Group 1 weight for age horse? That would be my slight query. Great handicapper.
Yep.
Really effective at Group 2 level. They stepped that peg up again from Group 2 to Group 1. I'd like to see him sort of really
I think
dominated that
later on
first.
in the prep for Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
All right, I agree with you, and as a mate of mine who's going to get very annoyed with that, but where did you settle with your top 3?
Jacquinot, really keen. Love the first up run. And last time we went to 1400, he beat In Secret in the Golden Rose.
Yep.
So he's not concerned about the step up in distance. Gentleman Roy as the second pick, just because he'll lead and he'll just keep on kicking. And I'm Thunderstruck, class runner, almost won the Cox Plate, obviously, so hard to leave him out. But can't see him beating Jacquinot.
There's a really good exactor, I reckon, in this race. I'm with Jacquinot as well, but I think the forgotten horse here is Churath.
It is a bit of a forgotten horse.
A little warm-up run in that Australia Stakes, ran really well, just a bit sharp for it at 12. She ran really well in this race last year, 4th beaten a length, albeit it was a slightly lesser field than this. I like mares in this race when they can draw in and posse up near the speed. Remember, Suavito was really effective in these sort of races. She's a similar style of mare to that. I think she's the number 2 slot for me, and I'll be taking that little Quinella. I think it's a good bet. I'm Thunderstruck next bet.
Very similar. I've got Jacquinot on top. I've got I'm Thunderstruck for every reason to come 3rd, but I've got Tuvalu in to run 2nd, unbeaten at Sandown Hillside. Yes, I know Gentleman Roy will go to the front, but I'm just hoping that Tuvalu can settle and just get that sort of trail into the race behind Gentleman Roy. So very similar there for me. Let's take a look at the next race. The big one is the Group 2 Rubiton over 1100 metres. Well, Uncommon James returns to Melbourne. We've seen him once in the Regal Roller, and boy, it was impressive.
Certainly was. 108.44 he won in that day. That was low flying, but yeah, I think it's a two-horse race. I know it's dangerous to say that, but I've gone with Lofty Strike just because he's double the price of Uncommon James. I reckon he's a really good price at $8 or around there. Good 1x3 play. I liked his jump out over 1800 recently. Do say won that, led all the way, sort of hugged the fence, but Lofty Strike just trucked into it out wide. Really nice late. Second by a fair margin there. That was the quickest heat of the day as well for that morning. Just thought he was probably brought undone by a heavy 10 when resuming last campaign, but then he obviously went to those good races at Flemington. Fourth in the Coolmore and was beaten a length in the BRC Classic. Getting within a length of Nature Strip over 1200 reads pretty well for this. So yeah, I like Lofty Strike to return a winner.
Julius Sandu's an astute trainer. We know that. He's got a very high opinion of this horse.
Yeah, he's very good, Lofty Strike. Got a good one to beat in Uncommon James, and he's going to be settling ahead of him. And we saw Uncommon James back in the spring when he went and won that the Regal Roller really nicely. So he can lob right on the pace, and he can quicken from an on-speed position. Work was really, really good earlier in the week at Sandown.
5 out of 6 for Uncommon James. Chain of Lightning, 6 out of 8. Hasn't done much wrong.
No, it hasn't. You've got to leave a few out. I've left her out. They might be a little bit too slick over 1100, but can win. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, you can't include them all, matey.
Chain of Lightning.
Yeah, in the mix as well. I went Oxley Ways.
I was going to say anything at double figure odds that takes your fancy.
Well, his prep last time around in the spring was poor on paper, but if you remember, Moods had to wait for a good track, and just about every time he went to the races, it rained. And he absolutely needs top of the ground. He's going to get that with a hot day on Saturday. I think he's up to running a really, really good race in a race like this. He's been third in an Oakley Plate, so he's a very fast horse. I think he can probably run a bit better than his odds.
All right, settle on top 3.
Yeah, Lofty Strike, I think he's a really good each way or 1x3 play. Uncommon James, as Shark said, so versatile, can go forward or back. 5 from 6 and was beaten ahead in the one miss, so could be unbeaten with a bit more luck. Marine won this race last year, hasn't actually raced since, but goes very well first up and has jumped out nicely. So that is my top 3, but yeah, I like Lofty Strike.
Shark?
Uncommon James for me, number 5, beating Lofty Strike number 12 and Oxley Road in next best.
I've got Uncommon James on top. I'm pretty keen actually. I've got Chain of Lightning to run in second. We're 2 for 2 first up, and Jamie Carr on board. She's striking at 18.6% metro-wise. That's unbelievable at the moment for Jamie. And the best time to back Argentia is first up.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
It's the only time to back it. It flies first up. 4 starts for 2 wins in a second. So Argentia at pretty big odds to come in top 3 for me. All right, Lammy, your best bets for Sandown away from those 2.
Away from those 2, I actually made Jack and O my best bet. But next best, race 2, number 6, Calico Jack. I never thought this horse would be a Group 2 winner, but I just think right horse at the right time for this particular race. One of only 2 or 3 natural on-speed horses in the race will roll forward, will either lead or sit second. Coming off back-to-back dominant wins, deep into the prep, most of his rivals are first up over 1400 with much bigger fish to fry. So as I said, right place at the right time. I don't think he's, you wouldn't look at him and go, he's a Group 2 winner, but he's just found the right race. And yeah, I think fitness will play a big part and he'll be too strong for them late.
And your value bet?
Value bet, race 9, number 12, East India Man. 7-year-old racing in career best form. All 3 runs this campaign have been really good. Form around British Columbia, who won last week, and then 2.5 lengths or 2.2 lengths off Gentleman Roy this track and distance last time. That was a pretty deep listed race where it had 54 kilos, carries the same weight in a benchmark 84. So I think he's a good 1x3 play as well. East Indian Man, barrier 2 should lob just behind the speed or even lead if it's up for grabs.
Shark, your best and your value?
I'm with Charmstone, race 4, number 1, the Filly's Blue Diamond. I just think she's most likely the dominant filly in Victoria. We've seen her twice at the races. She was absolutely smoked them at Flemington before a break, and her trial stints and jump outs at Cranbourne have been really, really good. So I'm expecting to see something pretty good from her on Saturday. And my value is race 5, number 12, Rich Fortune, who won really nicely at Moonee Valley second start and has come on from that. We're getting a price that's $15 or thereabouts because of a wide gate. I think she'll get away with it at Sandown. I reckon she'll run really well.
Then came out and won. I think the
yes,
form
she
has been
did.
franked.
The form's been good out of that race, yeah. She's a good filly, yeah.
I'm going with Corner Pocket as my best.
Oh, yeah. Well placed, isn't it?
We're all in agreement there.
Yeah, terrific going down to Pounding in the Valley and meets Pounding 5 kilos better. Pounding draws wide. Doesn't know how to run a bad race, really, Corner Pocket. And the only other 1,600 metre run was placed in a Group 2, so I'll go with that. Nice draw. And Value Bet Race 3, number 5. Some people call me for the Mar Eustace camp. Good money at Boo. You know, just got nutted on the line. Comes back to the 1,100 from the 1,200. I don't mind that because they've gone with the blinkers on. So that's a key gear change for me. So some people call me. All right, that is Sandown, which is going to be a fascinating meeting. And what we're going to do next is we're going to find the quaddie. And we're going to find the perm and the perk. More about those after this.
If you're in love with racing, then you'll love the new betting brand for racing fans. With exclusive markets, promotions, insights and content. That's better. Gamble responsibly.